Sky for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Those poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
It never gets old.
It
man.
never gets old.
It's always good. It's always funny.
It's always funny.
It's never not been funny.
Yeah.
I'd say that's for certain.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you?
Man. I mean, I had a good day. I did get a massage today, which is nice because I wrecked my back a few weekends ago. And that helped. But god damn it, if the sun going down at 3 p.m. is not already killing me. Already.
True. It is going to be a torture, a nightmare.
Yeah. And it's fucking cold here. It's fucking cold here.
It gets cold, very cold at night.
It was cold like all day today.
Mm-hmm.
All day. Like I went on a walk maybe at like 2:30 and I thought I would be fine with just like a sweatshirt, but I should have brought my jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was rough.
It's unfortunate. And I work 4/10s at my job. So I'm like gone. Like I leave when it's dark and then I guess it's lighter now, but then like it's super dark when I get off now. So it's
the
like,
worst.
I fucking hate that shit, dude.
It's the worst. It's advanced
I just
darkness.
want to, yeah. I just want to see the sun for a
like,
second.
Please. I just need some fucking vitamin D.
Yeah, dude. I was listening to a podcast today, and they used the term slow blowy, which I thought was funny.
Slow blowy?
Yeah, like getting a slow blowy.
Like somebody's slowly sucking on your dick?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like getting a slow blowy. And I just thought that was pretty funny.
I like that.
So I thought I would just share that with the class.
Thank you. And I feel like we're all more educated now.
Yeah, and I feel like you at home, listener, can...
You too try a slow blowy.
Yeah, experiment with slow blowies on your own, you know?
On your own time. Maybe while you're listening to the podcast. I don't know. Maybe the smooth sounds of our voice, you're just like, I have to suck dick right now.
Really gets you going, gets you sensual, yeah.
Yeah,
For sure.
Feeling good. Big day tomorrow.
Yeah, election day, boys and gals. Go to the polls, vote, but also
cry
and do other things too, you know?
Yeah.
And
support your neighbors.
There's more things that a lot of people can do. I'm not gonna sit on my high horse and say that I do tons of political activism and whatnot, but I need to do more things too. But however, I think if you're saying that voting is gonna cure our country, it's not gonna do that. Actually.
We're way past that.
We're too far past that. And yeah. And also, I was like looking at. I think you were talking about this last time we recorded, but I was looking at like the candidates with Eden. And like all the third-party candidates are like also shitty. Like,
no,
they're all,
I know.
Libertarian weirdos.
I know,
dude.
and like you go on their websites, and first of all, I'm like, who the fuck are? I've never heard of these people in my life. I feel like, and then I'm like on their website, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? Like,
there was one choice one that we saw that was like, I swear to God, it was like a 2001 ass looking website, and like. It was like protecting women's sports, and it's like real women.
I remember that one.
And then he like had like spelling errors in the website.
I feel like I remember that too.
And I was like, what the fuck?
And I was like, dog, can you not like? First of all, this was more for like local election stuff. But here's my thing: if you're running for any political representation in any way, shape, or form, get a fucking website. 1, 2, get a website that's easy to navigate.
I agree.
It's 2024. There is 100 different websites that help you build websites. Or I don't know, pay a fucking social media manager $20 an hour.
There's web developers that
It is the simplest thing that you can do that will make me 10 times more likely to vote for you.
Absolutely.
If I can just go on your website and see what your issues are so easily. When you don't even have a website at all, I'm like, I don't know who you are. So I'm hoping you're a normal person, but I will never know.
And all the vague shit on there too. Like there were some that were just like so politician, you can tell. Like,
it's like you don't even know like it's like, how do you feel about this thing?
What do you actually think? Because you didn't say anything in this like little description you gave.
They're like, this issue is very complicated, and I understand complicated things. Complications make the world complicated. It's like, okay, and...
Or, like, my favorite is, like, the fucking, like, I support Utah education, and I think that the minds of the youth are the most important things to us.
Right, and it's like, no, who doesn't
I want
think
to give more funding to the public school system, and like I'm like, okay, but how, in what way, right? Like everybody's saying they want to fund more like education, but like where are you gonna take the money from?
Exactly,
you know, like,
exactly.
Are you gonna take it from the fucking roads, the military? What are you gonna take it from?
And like, what parts of education are we funding here?
Exactly.
Like, what are where is the money going? Like, can we just tell me in simple terms, but with like, spell it all out. Let's,
One thing I will give Hillary Clinton, which I don't give Hillary Clinton a lot, her website had some, like, it was a banger website. It listed everything out. It went into, like, super, like, deep detail if you wanted that, but, like, if you didn't want to go into super deep detail, it was a very good website.
I don't remember that at all.
I do remember looking at Hillary Clinton's website and being like, all right.
Nice website.
Good website.
Chillery.
Chilling in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
I miss when life was just that.
Me too. Me too. Anyway, I think it's your turn to go first.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right.
I believe so.
Today, we're back.
We're so back.
With a very special installment. I guess you probably could tell from the intro music.
Yeah.
Right?
Do we have intro?
Do we have intro music for this? Never mind then. You couldn't. It's just the normal one. You probably could tell from like vibes.
And the title, I suppose.
Oh yeah, the title. Reading.
Who reads, dude? Dorks. That's
grow
it.
up.
Yeah, grow up. I don't actually research the episodes. I just like look at a book and then I like telepathically
via osmosis.
Comes in my head, and that's how I do research for podcasts.
I just I found some golden plates in the forest and I put them in a hat. Put them in my top hat.
And only you could see it.
And only nobody else can look.
Nobody else can look.
But it's real. It's all real. But nobody else. Don't look.
Super real, guys. Don't ask.
You can't.
It's so chill.
I'm
believe
special.
Me. Believe me, dude.
I was specially chosen.
Yeah, for sure.
We are back with another beautiful installment of Why You Should Hate.
Insert president.
Exactly. So perhaps my choice today for Why You Should Hate may be a little obvious. Perhaps this man will go down in infamy for the rest of history. Perhaps his minions will come after me for this episode. But with the extremely contentious election coming up literally tomorrow, or for our listeners, it's today. Hi.
It's actually today.
Happy Election Day. How are you doing? Are you pulling your hair out? Are you celebrating? Are you drunk yet? Are you laying in the gutter on the side of the road? Are you standing in line for the polls? What was the thing when the lines were really, really long and they were like, stay in line or whatever? Do you remember that? What was the was it stay in line that they were saying?
Yeah, like stay in line or
don't
like
leave.
Yeah, it was
what
like
was it?
Stay in line or like wait it out or
something like there was like some
like
hashtag going on. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well.
Yes.
Let us know from the future.
Has your
how
have
are
your
things?
Have Republicans laid claim to your uteri?
Yeah, uteri. Yeah, plural
uteruses. Yeah.
I thought it would be fun, silly, perhaps even pertinent.
Yeah.
To rehash all the reasons why you should hate Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, dude. Woo!
I was like, it's time.
We're so back, actually.
We're so back. We're so back. Mr. fucking
Hotel
treason himself. Mr. Golden Hotels himself. Mr.
Apprentice himself.
Mr. Apprentice. Mr. You Fired. Mr. starred in Home Alone 2?
Yeah.
I think it was the second one.
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
I think it was the second one.
True. Mr. All of those things. Mr. Fake Tan.
Mr. Wow. And there's a lot going on. Quickly. Maybe not quickly. There's a lot going on with his makeup situation lately. Have you been seeing that?
I have. He's holding on to...
Yeah.
Like, because, I mean, it's just like notoriously presidents age like milk after their presidency. Like they're not. Yeah, I feel like he's really holding on to some kind of youth that is no longer there.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like the line of demarcation of his tan, of his orangeness. There was like a photo of him from like maybe last week or something, and it was literally like the orange of like an orangutan, and then a line, and then his pale ghostly skin, and I was like, who's it is paper thin. Like I'm like, you gotta cool it. Like I hope they're using the softest bronzer brush of all time, because it's gonna just slide off like
pure unicorn hair.
Yeah, like when you like, it's like when you bite into a burger and everything's just like out the end. Like his skin is just gonna like off his face. I think. Yummy. Oh boy. Yeah, some interesting looks going on with him.
So true. Thank you. Technical difficulties.
We're back. We're existing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Donald Trump looks like shit.
Yeah, true.
But I saw this like tweet thread that this girl was like, she was like, the state of Donald Trump's tan is in direct correspondence to his mental well-being. I'll have to see if I can dig it up, because it was kind of interesting. It's like, I don't know if there's any like validity to it, but it was kind of interesting, and I was like, maybe she's got something going here.
Something. Maybe.
Yeah. So Donald Trump was devastatingly elected president on November 8th of 2016. We all remember where we were.
Yeah, I do.
Hashtag always remember, never forget.
So true.
His 4 years in office were rife with scandals, losses of human rights, and newsworthy tweets. However, the controversy and the many, many reasons to hate began well before he was in office. Mm-hmm. In November of 2015, at a campaign rally in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, Trump mocked the disability of Washington Post reporter Serge Kovaleski. Do you remember this?
Yes, where he did the whole like
the
limp
limp
arm
hand
thing.
Yeah. Trump had claimed that he saw, quote, thousands and thousands of Muslims celebrating September 11th in New Jersey, and cited an article that Serge had worked on. Serge attempted to clear this up, stating that his article had mentioned the arrests of, quote, a small number of people celebrating, and it never even mentioned the religious affiliation of these people either. So anyway, Serge said, quote, I certainly do not remember anyone saying that thousands or even hundreds of people were celebrating. That was not the case, as best as I can remember. Trump addressed this at his rally by putting his arms up to his chest with limp wrists and saying, you gotta see this guy. I don't know what I said. I don't remember. He's going like, I don't remember. Maybe that's what I said. That's my best impression of how he said that. I think he probably said that in a way more offensive way.
I'm 100% certain of that.
Serge has a condition called arthrogryposis. I'm so sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. It is a congenital condition that causes joint contracture in his right arm and hand. So it brings his arm up to his chest.
Yeah.
Trump brushed past the backlash for this incident, stating that he was trying to emulate the way that he felt this man was, quote, groveling, and that he would, quote, never make fun of someone's disability.
I'm certain.
I'm like,
Donald Trump.
Okay.
I mean, and that's the thing though, is he just ignores it, and people are like, they just fucking blow, like his supporters don't even, I don't know.
Right.
They're so far gone, dude.
Which like, this is something that, you know, if I worked for like a corporate establishment, I would get fired instantly.
Oh yeah, HR nightmare.
And thank God, like, and you should.
You shouldn't
and
do
like,
that.
this is before he was even elected.
Truly.
I'm gonna do that a lot this episode, I feel.
Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be an angry one.
In October of 2016, 1 month before his victory as president, a tape from 2005 was resurfaced of Donald speaking to Billy Bush, the anchor of Access Hollywood, about, I know, it's...
It's crazy because it's funny. Like, it's funny because it seems like these things have just like always existed, but like we were there when they like were uncovered, you know? Like,
I can't remember. I was talking to a client of mine the other day, and she was telling me that this audio had like, it's become a TikTok audio trend.
Oh my God.
Of Gen Z kids, because they weren't around.
Yeah, weren't present.
They were like young and like too young to really like be cogent of what was going on at this time. So it's Gen Z kids hearing this audio and like reacting to it and being like, holy fuck. And I was like, sorry, I scraped the mic. I was like, oh my God, I didn't even like think about the fact that like Gen Z people were too young at the time to have this be like super impactful because they were children.
They were children, yeah.
And like, of course, but I mean, it's just crazy because I remember this like it was yesterday. You know, I mean, I was like,
we were present.
A full-grown adult, yeah. Anyway, I was like
crazy,
but I'm like, you know what? Good that like, because I feel like all of this is why I wanted to talk about all of this stuff too, is because I'm like, we need to be remembering the whole timeline of what a piece of shit this man is, and not just what's been happening in the last like couple of years here, like what's been happening since before he was president even.
Truly.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So it was a tape from 2005 of Donald Trump speaking to Billy Bush, the anchor of Access Hollywood, about how he was able to seduce so many married women. In the audio, he says, quote, "I moved on one like a bitch. When you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything. Grab them by the pussy. You can do anything."
Yeah. Grabbing people by the pussy.
Yeah.
You know?
That was a...
Well, and like, and also just like the connotation of the whole quote too, where he's like, because obviously the grabbing by the pussy is like the shock value of the quote, but
Absolutely.
He's basically saying that like he's famous enough that he can just like go fuck anybody regardless if they like consent or not.
Exactly. No, yeah, I mean, he's saying, I'm so famous and rich that I can do anything that I want to.
Yeah.
With and like nobody can tell me otherwise.
Yep. Very cool.
I can't remember. I don't think I quoted it in here, so I have something else to say about that after I talk about this.
Yeah.
There was considerable backlash, obviously, and outrage to the audio, including denouncements by leading political figures who had like previously endorsed him, the cancellation of a rally in Wisconsin, and the RNC postponing its victory program, which I think was like they had sort of projected him to be the winner, and so they were gonna like throw this fucking party. I don't know exactly, but anyway. Trump, however, was able to roll this scandal right off his back like some kind of demonic duck and address the controversy by simply saying...
Oh, that was good. Anyway.
By simply saying, quote, "This was locker room banter, a private conversation that took place many years ago. Bill Clinton has said far worse to me on the golf course." Which was, he was sort of trying to poke at Hillary there because that was his running mate at the time.
Yeah.
But I believe that Bill Clinton said some awful shit on the golf course as well.
Also bad.
It is also extremely bad.
Yeah.
Just 7 days after his inauguration. Okay. What I want to say, I don't think I quoted it because I was like, there's too many things.
Yeah.
But do you remember when he said that he could go on like Main Street, Manhattan, and shoot somebody and kill them, and he would still get elected president and like still get voted for?
I think so. Yeah, I do remember that.
Like that was another, because he basically was saying like, oh,
like,
there's
people
never
love me so much.
Yeah, people love me so much. I can get away with literally anything that I want to, regardless of what I do or say. I will still be able to be president. I will never have to face any consequences for my actions. I could literally shoot and kill somebody, and I would still be elected president. And it's true.
It's unfortunately
it's
true. Well, and it's crazy. Again, I don't know. Like I said, I think maybe we're just too far gone as a nation. But like,
I think as just like
the Republican Party, I don't know.
Every person on the like, I think like as a collective humanity, like we're just we've lost the plot.
It's and it's so weird because like it's almost like a meme now to like
completely
be like a Trump supporter. Like it's like I don't know, like, and maybe I'm off base, but I get like TikTok ads and stuff where it's like, be like, oh, my mom was so mad when I rolled up to Thanksgiving dinner in this, and it's like a Trump sweater and stuff. And
well, that video of the guy on the airplane who's like wearing the shirt that's like, I can't even remember what the fuck it said, but it was like a checkbox of like Joe Biden and something else, and then like convicted felon or something, and it was like checkbox on convicted felon. He was basically saying that like, I don't care that Donald Trump is a felon. I'm still voting for him. And he's like sitting and he's recording himself and he's like looking at the phone like, and then he's looking at people walking past him, looking at his shirt, and he's like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like,
they think they're so, I don't know, they think they're so fucking cool for some reason. But anyway,
we're doing really good, you guys.
We're getting through this episode quickly and concisely.
And efficiently, and not having breakdowns.
Oh, man.
Woo! Just 7 days after his inauguration in 2017, Trump issued Executive Order 13769.
Yeah.
There you go. Which was a travel ban on Muslim-majority countries Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen, blocking citizens from these countries from entering the U.S., as well as suspending the refugee admissions policy for 120 days. This was largely seen by critics of Trump as a Muslim ban, and when criticized on this, Trump said, quote, "To be clear, this is not a Muslim ban. This is about religion. This is about terror and keeping our country safe."
He said it's about religion, or it isn't about religion?
Not about religion.
Yeah,
Sorry, I misquoted.
Yeah, but I mean, you're just, again, he's sidestepping what, we all knew that he was fucking being, like, Islamophobic.
Donald Trump had been on a tirade against Muslims since the beginning of his campaign,
Truly.
and he was quoted during his campaign in 2015 as calling for a total shutdown of Muslims entering the U.S. and stating, quote, "It is obvious to anybody the hatred is beyond comprehension. Where this hatred comes from and why we will have to determine. Until we are able to determine and understand this problem and the dangerous threat it poses, our country cannot be the victims of horrendous attacks by people that believe only in jihad and have no sense of reason or respect for human life. If I win the election for president, we are going to make America great again." And he's referring to Muslims here. He's saying, until we're able to understand and determine this problem, meaning Muslims being in America, and the dangerous threat it poses, meaning Muslims pose a dangerous threat.
Yeah.
We have to not allow Muslims into this country.
True. Even, because he thinks that all Muslims are terrorists.
He absolutely does. So it's just, again, we can't logic. There's no point. But
you can't. Yeah. That's really the thing is, like, you can talk till you're blue in the face.
Yeah.
But it's like you were saying, like, he could kill someone on fucking Main Street.
Yeah.
And people would still vote for him because
it doesn't matter.
You can't logic them out of liking because he's like, they've bought into whatever fucking he's selling. I don't know. I don't know.
But him saying this is not a Muslim ban, this is not about religion, when 2 years earlier he had literally said we should shut down Muslims coming into the country because it's a dangerous threat.
Yeah.
So.
White nationalism.
Yes. On September 5th, 2017, Trump announced that he would end the DACA program, which is the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. This is a program that gave legal protection to children of immigrants who were brought over to the United States as children by their parents. This program was put in place to recognize that these people were too young to have been a part of any decision-making at the time of entering the U.S. illegally, quote-unquote illegally, because I hate that term, and therefore should be not held to the same standards as other quote-unquote illegal immigrants. Again, hate that term, but that's the language that they use. DACA protected these people from deportation and allowed them to acquire work visas if they fit specific requirements. Extremely specific requirements. I really want to hammer that in. It's hard to get DACA. It is not an easy thing. It is not something that you can just... They're not just like handing out DACA to any person that is like living in the U.S.
Claims,
Yes, it is extremely difficult. I have somebody in my life who was on DACA for a long time, and when this happened, she was like, I literally don't know what's going to happen to me and my life. And there was something, I think she had to like get her license renewed, like her driver's license renewed in order, because it was like running out. I think her, 26th birthday? Do you have to get it renewed at 26? I think that's what it was. And you have to have like, up-to-date license to get your DACA. However, to get her license, she had to have her DACA. So it was like a whole fucking clusterfuck. And she was like, I don't even remember Mexico. I literally don't remember it.
Yeah, like you were a baby.
Yeah.
Like...
Around 800,000 people were a part of this Obama administration program and had been living in the United States since their childhood, many barely remembering their country of origin or having no memory of it at all. Donald defended this action with a statement, quote, "I do not favor punishing children, most of whom are now adults, for the actions of their parents. But we must also recognize that we are a nation of opportunity because we are a nation of laws."
Yeah, okay, but you didn't actually say anything there. Like, that's nothing. And I
also,
love how he sneaks in the, like, even though they're adults now, like, he's like, I'm not actually punishing these children.
Right,
like,
exactly.
It's like, fuck off,
exactly.
Dude.
Also,
fuck
it's
off.
like, well, this is a law. This is a way to create laws around something that is an extremely difficult issue, brother.
Yeah.
Like, that's how we do that.
Well, and it's like anarchist beliefs aside, like there's laws that don't fucking suck, and every law and everything you've tried to do is just like hurting a ton of people, other than like like wealthy white people.
Exactly. The ending to the DACA program comes from a long history of Donald Trump spewing hateful rhetoric about immigrants, specifically Mexican immigrants. At a campaign speech in June of 2015, Trump gave his infamous "They're rapists" speech.
It's all coming back, dude.
I know. It's all coming back to me now. Pretty ironic coming from someone who's been accused of rape countless times.
Yeah.
During this speech, Trump says, quote, "When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems, and they're bringing those problems with them. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime. They're rapists. And some, I assume, are good people."
Oh, my God. And again, like he's talking about, like, again, air quotes, illegal immigration, right? So Mexico's not sending anyone.
Right.
They're crossing the border.
Yes,
like,
this is their individual choice.
Oh my gosh, he's
I know.
so fucking he's goofy. He's a fucking goof, dude.
It was so funny, like reading back all of these things, and I was just like the memories were flooding back to me, and I was like, God, what a fucking time. Like, oh my God.
I remember it wasn't until probably like, I don't know, maybe it might have been, like July of that year of 2016 that I was like, oh shit, like this is serious.
Yes.
Like,
yes. Because I was like,
he's a fucking clown. He's a fucking joke.
I think we all were like, there's no way.
There's no fucking way.
He's a fucking cartoon character.
Yeah.
Like, he's ridiculous.
Like, people are smarter than this, right?
Right. And like, he had been like pretty like goofed on for a long time. Like, he'd always been kind of goofed on for being like,
you goofy rich guy.
You fired, goofy, crazy rich guy, Donald Trump, whatever. And then, reality set in, and you started to see, like, people are foaming at the mouth for this guy.
Yeah, it's crazy, actually.
And the fear of, like, oh, no, I think this is, like, real. This is real.
They're serious, yeah.
And it was real. Indeed, it was real.
And it happened. And
here we are
and
again.
Once again, we're right back in the driver's seat, baby. Let's go. Oh, it never. Time is a flat fucking circle, dude. Time is a flat circle. It all comes back. I did listen to this interesting Dollop episode about. I can't remember the guy's name, but he was a governor of Georgia.
Okay.
Who was Donald Trump. Like, he did like a lot, like a ton of the same shit, and was like wanted to like make Georgia, like he basically became like a dictator of Georgia.
Oh,
it was crazy.
I feel like I heard about this.
Yeah, Talmadge or something like. Oh, maybe it was Behind the Bastards. Was it?
I can't remember, but I feel like I
don't even
either
remember,
listened to something about this or I read about this.
Yeah, it was, but yeah. And again, time's a flat circle. It all fucking comes back, dude. And that's not to say that, like, we shouldn't, try to stop this.
Of course. No, but it's just, you're just like...
Because people will suffer.
People are, yes. It's just, I can't even put words together. It just feels like an unreality. And like, and I don't want to say that too much because obviously I'm fully fucking aware of the nightmare hellscape horrorscape that this country is, and a lot of other countries as well for that matter. So like, it's not that shocking, I guess, that like an insane fucking like self-aggrandizing sick rapist weird fucking freak sicko became president, because like they have been before. But it's just like the level at which it's the cavalierity, if you'll give me that word, of it all, that I'm just like,
it's just right out in the open.
It's again, and I feel like I'm gonna have to keep going back to this quote. It's again, I could stand in the middle of like whatever, I can't think of a main street, New York. I'm gonna have to just Google what the damn quote is, and shoot somebody dead and still have no consequences to pay for that.
Yeah.
And it's like, like that's
like maybe
where my madness is coming from. Right. Like I feel crazy.
Yeah, me too.
I feel crazy. Okay.
All right. Okay. We're back.
On January 25th, 2017, get it together, Phoebe, Trump issued Executive Order 13767, which, quote, directs the Secretary of Homeland Security to undertake planning, designing, and constructing of a physical wall along the U.S. southern border. Oh, the wall.
The wall that Mexico is going to pay for.
It's tremendous.
Yeah.
He also issued Executive Order 13768 on the same day, which, quote, directs the Secretary of Homeland Security to hire 10,000 additional immigration officers to identify and deport, quote, illegal aliens, accused of crimes, calls on the Attorney General to take steps to deny federal funds to so-called sanctuary jurisdictions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of us will forget Mr. Smallhand's insistence upon a border wall between the United States and Mexico. My God, the wall. Shit.
People would not, and his supporters, dude, they would not shut the fuck up about the wall.
They were so juiced about the wall.
They wanted the wall so bad.
He wanted the wall so bad. He was like,
foaming at the mouth.
Foaming at the mouth for this wall. He also claimed multiple times that Mexico itself would pay for this wall. Quote, I would build a great wall, and nobody builds walls better than me, believe me, and I'll build them very inexpensively. I will build a great wall on our southern border, and I'll have Mexico pay for that wall.
Yeah. Which
the president of Mexico at the time was like, no.
Actually,
that's not happening.
Why would I do that? Why would we do that?
That's not going to happen.
Yeah,
you're insane for thinking that would happen.
Oh, my God.
Trump also suggested to avoid tunneling under the wall by adding trenches filled with water and snakes, or perhaps alligators. This is real. This is a real thing.
Yeah. No,
he was like, we're going to put like medieval ass moats like you're in Mario.
Again,
like you're playing
he
Mario.
He doesn't know how fucking...
He's not living in the world. He's not a real person.
He's a fucking toddler, dude.
He's not a real human person.
Yeah. He's, again, and I don't know if he's so rich that he's so detached from reality that, like, in his brain, he's like, yeah, just put a fucking alligator around it. There's something going on with Donald Trump where he's not here. He's not here. He's in a different plane.
Like he literally was like playing Mario World, and he's like, "That's a good idea."
Yeah, he's playing fucking Mario 64.
Yeah, he's like in Bowser's castle, and he was like, "I should do that."
What the fuck?
Can we get lava in here? How do we get lava?
I really like this Bowser guy.
I really like this Bowser guy. He's tremendous. Didn't he go like this all the time? He like tented his face. He's tremendous. He's the greatest dragon I've ever seen. He initially, and this is just me like talking off the top of my head, initially he wanted to make the wall clear because he said that would help them be able to see drug smugglers that are going to try to throw a bag of drugs over the wall easier.
Yes.
Then when they were like, you can't, that wouldn't work, Donald, then he was like, let's make it all black. And they were like, you also can't do that because something about like that, how it would get too hot and that would be an issue.
That makes sense.
I mean, it's like he's just sitting there and he's like, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know if he's like,
there was
it's like, I don't know what like cocktail of things he's on. If he's like coked up or if he's like drunk or if he's on like Xannies or what. But he's just like sitting there. He's like, we should try this.
And like, I'm trying to remember the fucking quote. It was definitely during COVID. And I want to say it was like when the vaccine talk was all happening or whatever. And he like said something offhandedly. Like, he was like, can't they take the like disinfectant and
I'm gonna talk about it.
Okay, thank God.
I am absolutely gonna talk about it.
The injecting yourself with disinfectant was a prime moment in my memory of being like, this is the fucking guy that is leading us, folks. Like,
yeah. On January 25th, 2019, Trump demanded $5.7 billion to build the wall. Congress pushed back on this. Wonder why.
Of course they did.
Right. Right.
Literally, he's like, yeah, they're like, no, you can't build a fucking Bowser moat around the country.
I'm not giving $5.7 billion for like a moat with electric eels in it.
Oh God. Anyway.
Oh my God. And the government was shut down for 35 days, a historical feat for President Trump, with this being the longest government shutdown to date. Over him fighting with Congress about giving him $5 billion to build a wall.
Don't say he doesn't have goals. He's going for 36 days this year, baby.
He shoots high. He shoots. And you know what? If you don't land on the moon, perhaps you will land amongst the stars.
And I think that's true of Donald Trump.
I think that's beautiful. Which actually, that quote is like dumb because the moon is closer than any star.
Yeah, no, that is very true.
So
that quote is scientifically disproven, debunked.
Get debunked. Get Neil deGrasse Tyson on this shit.
Yeah, dude. Fucking get your dog water. You're not cracked. Get the fuck out of here.
Get out of here. When Congress rejected this request, Trump declared a national state of emergency.
Man.
During which he reallocated funds from several other government entities, including the military, to pay for his wall.
And that's crazy because like there's not many things that Republicans will be like, yes,
we're taking money
from the military
for
this.
Like this is which is also like I don't even know that he like believes in Republic. Like I don't know that he believes like half of what he even says.
I don't know that he believes in anything.
Honestly, I think he believes in whatever he feels like doing that day.
So true.
Because I'm like leading up to his shit, he's like, oh, rah rah, rah America and our military and this and that. And he's also said awful things about the military. But anyway, it's just. Construction began on the wall in 2018, and by 2020, many areas of the wall were already failing due to erosion.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
It was also found that people crossing the border were able to cut through the wall easily with cheap power tools.
Hell yeah,
Great
dude.
fucking wall, Donald. You did it. You did it, baby.
And then there was like the weird like Trump supporters who were like trying to fund the wall themselves afterwards. That was crazy too.
Yeah, so many
choice moments
things
from our life, dude.
Honestly,
from the reality we live in.
Yeah. Our reality. This is our plane of reality. This is our life. This is the world.
And
this is
cool.
the real thing.
We're
this
having
is
a
real.
good time.
This is real, and it's happening, and it's real, and it did happen, and it was real. As the year 2020 came rearing its ugly head, so too did the coronavirus pandemic, as well as the abysmal response from the United States government. Donald famously downplayed the virus, made horribly racist comments regarding the virus, the China virus, as he called it, and even made downright dangerous suggestions on how to combat the virus.
Yeah, the fucking horse shit, dude.
Dog.
Ivermectin, that's what it's called.
In April of 2020, when the CDC sent out a recommendation that people should wear masks, Trump called it, quote, a voluntary thing and said, quote, you can do it, you don't have to do it, I'm choosing not to do it, but some people may want to do it, and that's okay. It may be good, probably will. They're making a recommendation. It's only a recommendation.
Yeah. How many people died of the coronavirus?
Well, don't worry. I'm about to tell you.
Thank goodness.
will employ somebody to look up the not final, because we're still here.
That's true.
Perhaps if you could look up in 2021 what the death count was.
Ooh, sure can, baby.
Live Googling here, live reporting in action.
So true.
Trump is also quoted in May of 2020 as seeing the high number of COVID cases as a positive. Quote, when we have a lot of cases, I can't do the Trump voice. I don't look at that as a bad thing. I look at that in a certain respect as being a good thing because it means our testing is much better. So if we were testing 1 million people instead of 14 million people, we would have a few cases, right? So I view it as a badge of honor. Really, it's a badge of honor. It's a great tribute to the testing and all of the work that a lot of professionals have done. Just a few days after this, the U.S. would report 100,000 known deaths caused by COVID.
Yes. In the year, and this is not overall, like from 2020 to 2021.
Okay.
I believe this is just 2021 from Statista.com.
Okay.
Approximately 3.46 million people died.
Awesome.
That could have been prevented by mask wearing.
Yep.
At least in a lot of those cases.
Yep.
So that was really cool.
Yep.
And honestly, at least some of those are due to Donald Trump for sure.
100 zillion million trillion %.
We should blame him directly.
Yes, we can comfortably point the finger right at his poorly bronzed up face because 100% he is guilty of those deaths and is responsible for those
looking fingers in comparison to
weird...
his tiny hands, dude.
Oh God. In April of 2020, Trump suggested somehow inserting a light into the human body to fight the coronavirus after it was found that the virus died easier in warmer climates.
Yeah, that was that. I think that was. Yeah.
Quote, so supposing we hit the body with a tremendous, whether it's ultraviolet or just a powerful light, and I think you said that hasn't been checked because of the testing. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or some other way. And I think you said you're going to test that too.
Yeah, that seems like a really good way to get cancer, dude.
I mean, it just seems like how the fuck.
Also, why would you think?
What are you even suggest? First of all, no, it's not even a comprehensive sentence.
Yeah, no, you don't actually make any sense.
It's second of all, what you wanted me to? Are you saying let's slice our skin open and shove a light bulb in there, Donnie? Like, what are you? I
think he wants you to deep throat the light.
Oh, I think you're right.
Deep throat the light bulb, swallow it,
but
keep it on like a string, and then pull it back out.
Slide it all around.
Every organ,
yeah.
And then you pull it back out.
And then the virus is gone.
Yeah. Or better yet. You swallow the light bulb, you have the string, but you click the string, and then it illuminates your whole body.
Oh my God.
And then you pull it out.
It's like a SpongeBob bit. And then like your skeleton, you can see your skeleton from the outside.
Yeah. If it is SpongeBob, you'd see like all the lights shooting out of
his little holes.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of a beautiful vision that Donald had.
Yeah, I can get behind his cartoon logic there.
Yeah, he was like watching like Family Guy or something. He's like, I've got a tremendous idea.
Literally, I'm sure. Honestly, I'm sure he's like
Donald Trump
in the cartoon with the sponge, you know?
Right? And you've seen the sponge. He's tremendous. He's a yellow square. You know, Trump is watching Family Guy. Trump like eats Family Guy up, which
he loves Family Guy.
It's funny. Listen, I'm not above admitting that I have yucked it up to some Family Guy.
I have laughed at Family Guy.
Trump loves what was the
American Dad or something?
No. There was a cartoon that I think Tosh.0 made. I think it was like Seth MacFarlane and
Brickleberry.
Yes! He's watching Brickleberry, and he's like, "This is the greatest shit I've ever seen."
This is the greatest thing. Yeah.
He's watching fucking Brickleberry, which like I think probably had like 6 viewers, and Donald Trump was 3 of them.
He rewatched
the
episodes.
He's like making Barron watch it with him. He's like, "You have to see this.
You gotta see this shit.
This is incredible."
Funniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life.
Trump also suggested injecting the body with some sort of disinfectant in order to kill the virus. Quote, I see the disinfectant that knocks it out in a minute. 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning? As you see, it gets in the lungs. It does a tremendous number on the lungs. So it would be interesting to check on that.
All right, Don. We'll get our boys on it.
It would be so interesting to check on that.
I cannot fathom being like a scientist or like
this quote. He was in an interview. Yeah. He was talking to a scientist.
Like being a scientist, talking to Donald Trump, and having him say some fuck shit like this to me, and being like, "What the fuck did you just say?"
And you like have to. And this is the.
It's the president.
It's the president. States.
Oh God, I cannot fucking fathom it, dude.
This is the president.
I cannot fathom, man. You know what I fucking can fathom, dude? Taking a little break to go pee.
I need it.
Yeah.
I need a minute.
I gotta go.
I forgot. Like it's not like I forgot, but it's just like reliving all of this. I'm like,
true.
Oh God.
Well, and then like it was that like on top of just the collective trauma of like being in the pandemic. Like yes. I was alone in my house. I haven't seen my friends in fucking 2 years.
Yeah, like I'm in pain.
I can't go see my family without like masking up and like taking precautions. Like
the most I didn't have a job for 3 months. The most exciting part of my life was like going on a walk around the neighborhood for the 8 quadrillionth fucking time and like drinking starting at 2 p.m. because I'm like, what else am I gonna do?
What are we gonna do? And then just like seeing Donald Trump say shit like this and being like, oh God.
I genuinely think I've never felt crazier in my entire life. I felt like I was actually like having and maybe I did actually genuinely have like a bit of a psychotic break. I was
gonna say there was definitely points where I was like, I'm psychosis
unwell
because like my mental health is in hell right now because I cannot function any longer in this room. In the way that this world is like, I can't do this. I can't do it. I recall there were definitely times.
Oh yeah, I was broken. I was a broken person.
Yeah, it was a rough time.
The many FaceTimes that we would have.
Yeah, and just holding on for dear life, man.
on fucking FaceTime, and all of all our little friends are like, I don't know what's fucking happening to you guys.
Yeah, hey.
I don't know.
Oh man.
Anyway. Sanity.
Yeah.
I should have just been able to read your mind. Yeah. Honestly.
I mean, we're a little flustered from all the DT talk.
Yeah, that gets me, I'm not on my brainwaves are not as connected to yours as normal because they're like so scattered.
Yeah, they're interrupted by Donald Trump's fucking presence.
Horror and
What a guy. What a fucking guy. We were just talking about how he said he'd fuck his daughter.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't say it like that, obviously, but like
in different words. But
he said like how hot she was and how he'd like have her on his arm if she wasn't his daughter or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
He's talked a lot about how hot she is.
It is strange.
Which is really disgusting.
It is strange to do that and concerning.
Deeply concerning.
Yeah. Anyway. Need several beers after this.
For real. Yeah. I wish can we do a shot right now?
Let's fucking go, dude. Podcast shot.
We do need to do another drunk podcast episode.
Yeah,
that was a fun time.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we'll have to get a Boney app going where we do a little fun little get drunk or something.
Yeah, because I think that we did the hot or not.
Yeah, that
game,
one was good.
And we were like in tears. We were laughing so fucking hard.
That one was really funny.
That was so great.
We could do another hot or not, but with honestly, like world leaders or something. Because we did presidents last time.
We did do presidents. Yeah.
So you could do any like not American leaders.
Yeah. Change it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyone that's not an old white man.
Yeah. True. True.
Okay. Trump also famously promoted hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin.
Yeah.
Remember hydroxychloroquine?
I forgot about that stuff.
Yeah, I know. I had too. I was like, oh yeah. And ivermectin as cures for COVID. Hydroxychloroquine is an immunosuppressive drug and an anti-parasite used to treat malaria, arthritis, and lupus. Health officials warned against taking hydroxychloroquine to prevent COVID, but Trump's endorsement led to the death of at least one man, if not more, who had seen Trump encouraging the drug on the news. He and his wife ingested chloroquine phosphate, which is a drug used to treat parasites in fish. I guess they had like koi fish, and they had this stuff on the shelf.
That's Jesus.
I know. He had conflated the word chloroquine with hydroxychloroquine, just, I guess, assuming it was the same thing, or didn't fully understand the whole word and was just like, this must be the same thing. They both took it, both got extremely ill, with the woman ending up in critical care and the man passing away. The couple, it's so fucked up. The couple had taken it because, quote, we were afraid of getting sick, said the woman.
Yeah.
No names have been provided in the NBC article to protect the identity of the grieving woman.
And that's valid.
Yeah.
I remember, too, because there was, like, a big concern with, like, what is it, lupus? Mm-hmm. Like, with, like, actual people who suffer from lupus, like, not having their medication.
Right.
Like,
yes.
Because so many people were like, oh, shit, Donald Trump said we could take this and we'll be forever cured from COVID or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah. I didn't get into the ivermectin stuff as much because it's, again, it's like I had to fit this into not 27 hours of an episode. But, you know, famously, ivermectin is a horse dewormer, and people were shitting their intestines out.
Yeah,
shitting them out.
Go listen to our boy, friend of the pod, the Joe Rogan Experience, if you want to learn more about ivermectin. Oh, because I think he was taking it.
He was.
He wasn't taking the full, like, horse version of it.
Yeah,
but
I think he was doing, like, a different...
Yeah, but, like, he definitely took it.
Yep.
And honestly, name a drug of any kind that Joe Rogan hasn't taken. That man has pumped his body full of so much
anything and everything.
Truly.
I think he was also doing the colloidal silver.
Oh, God, wow.
Do you remember, was he him or was it Alex Jones who was doing the colloidal silver shit and, like, promoting?
It might have been both of them, honestly.
Honestly, I mean, truly, they're kind of two sides of the same coin.
Joe Rogan is like a stoner's Alex Jones, you know?
Right. Yes.
Although Alex Jones is also kind of a stoner's Alex Jones, but like, see if this makes sense. Alex Jones, like, alcoholic.
Yes.
Alcoholics listen to him.
Yes.
Joe Rogan, stoner.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You get it.
Absolutely. Yeah. In July of 2020, Trump withdrew from the World Health Organization, cutting the largest portion of funding from the largest global health organization during a global pandemic. And in September, I did not write... Oh, September of 2020, obviously. Trump, quote, refused to join a WHO-led global initiative known as the COVID-19 Vaccine Global Access Facility, to develop, manufacture, and distribute a COVID-19 vaccine. So there we have it again, where you can literally point your finger at him and say, you are responsible for a number of these deaths.
For a large
number. You left the World Health Organization. America was one of, I think, the actually largest funder of the World Health Organization, refused to join this initiative to fucking develop COVID-19 vaccines and get them out, and it ended up taking fucking forever instead. You literally are a murderer.
Yeah, you're a murderer, not only for the people who died of COVID-19, but, like, I mean, if I recall, suicide rates were up significantly.
I would imagine.
During the pandemic. And you prolonged that. So a number of those are also
I would say that is also,
hands. Like,
I can point directly at you and say,
you did this.
You are responsible. Chappell Roan gif where she's, like, pointing at the photographer. That's me pointing at you, Donald Trump, saying, you killed these people.
You're a piece of shit.
You're responsible.
Yeah.
Then we have, of course, the infamous day of January 6th, 2021.
Woo! I was waiting.
Woo woo!
We hit the big time.
We hit the big time, where, after the announcement of Joe Biden as the victor of the 2020 election, supporters of Trump carried out an insurrection on the U.S. Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Trump was accused of inciting this insurrection due to comments he had made leading up to January 6th, as well as a speech that he gave on January 6th. And this is a whole long rambling quote, so I'm sorry. And it makes not a lot of sense because it's Donald Trump.
Because it's him, yeah.
Quote, they rigged an election. They rigged it like they've never rigged an election before.
Okay, dude. I don't know. Al Gore would maybe disagree with you.
I just love the way they rigged it like they've never rigged it before.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. By the way, last night, they didn't do a bad job either, if you notice. I'm honest. I want to thank you. It's just a great honor to have this kind of crowd and to be before you. Hundreds of thousands of American patriots are committed to the honesty of our elections and the integrity of our glorious republic. All of us here today do not want to see our election victories stolen by emboldened radical left Democrats, which is what they're doing, and stolen by the fake news media. That's what they've done and what they're doing. We will never give up. We will never concede. It doesn't happen. You don't concede when there's theft involved. Many of you have traveled from all across the nation to be here, and I want to thank you for the extraordinary love. That's what it is. There's never been a movement like this ever for the extraordinary love of this amazing country and this amazing movement. Thank you.
God bless America.
God bless America.
God damn it.
I mean, it's just like, you made this fucking happen.
Oh, yeah. No, he 100% incited that shit.
Completely.
Like, you literally said the election was stolen. You literally said, we won't quit.
Yeah, don't let them win.
Yeah,
we're going to fight.
Also, can you show me where the fucking leftist Democrats are?
I would love to.
I would love if there were some in there.
It'd be great. I
haven't seen any.
Have yet to. This speech goes on for an absurd amount of time. Like, I actually cannot believe how long he talked. I was scrolling through like a transcription of it, and I literally was like... I was like, are you fucking, he's still talking. I can't believe how long he talked before the insurrection took place. Most of the speech is saying, of course, that Democrats are frauds, stole the election. Donald Trump, is the rightful president of the United States. This crowd of patriots, quote unquote, should fight for his right to be the president, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then just like a lot of rambling about, you're kind of like, what does this have to do with anything right now? Like, we're talking about, like, you're talking about the wall again. You're talking about, like, your favorite place to go eat lunch.
It's just the fucking, like, buzzwords that get people all riled up.
Yeah.
Like, wall. And they're like,
ah! He said it.
It's like when fucking Elon Musk, like, breathes.
Oh,
and,
my
like,
God.
have you ever, like, what? Because I watched the fucking, like, that one presentation, I guess, for the Cybertruck thing. And he would just, like, cough or something. And people would be like, woo! Elon, like, it's the same fucking shit. Like, he could like order a fucking McDouble, and people would be like, "They're like, yes, a president who orders a McDouble."
Yeah, Did you see I think it was at like a Trump rally. Elon Musk spoke, and he was trying to do the USA chant, and he's like, "USA, USA." He doesn't know how to do it. He can't do it.
Oh,
it's
God.
It's so stupid.
He's not real. He's
also not real.
He's
not a
fake.
real guy.
He's got to be a hologram, dude. Like, there's no fucking way.
He's so oddly shaped.
He's 3 emeralds in a fucking trench coat. Like, oh, God. That joke, some of y'all get that joke, and you'll laugh to yourself.
I commend you. Prior to the riot at the Capitol, Trump was tweeting all throughout December, encouraging his followers to gather at the Capitol and protest the, quote, stealing of the election. He tweets, big protest. I'm so sorry. He tweets, big protest in D.C. on January 6th. Be there. We'll be wild. Which, like, sounds like me, like, inviting my friend to, like, a party.
Yeah, literally,
you know?
to, like, the Halloween party. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna be crazy.
It's gonna be crazy. Hope to see you there.
Bring some beer.
He tweeted, see you in Washington, D.C. on January 6th. Don't miss it. Information to follow.
God, he's so funny.
Again, it's so... God, I can't.
It's funny because of this the context of it all. Like him.
Yes, like
we exist in the context.
We do exist in the context. It's him tweeting it like this, like it's like Sephora's having a sale or something, and it's like for his attempted coup on the American government. He's like, "See you there.
Coming from
Don't miss it."
Just like the barely former president of the United States.
Exactly. He tweets, "The big protest rally in Washington, D.C. will take place at 11 a.m. on January 6th. Locational details to follow. Hashtag stop the steal."
Literally. Hashtag Black Friday sale.
Literally.
Man.
It's like Old Navy is like, come into Old Navy today, January 6th.
January 6th, sales on capris.
Right.
That's what they sell at Old Navy, right?
They do a lot. Like, I feel like they're always trying to shove capris down my throat.
Everybody, as a society, they were trying to shove.
Done with capris.
They were trying to shove capris down
in the early
throat.
2000s. They were like needed people to be wearing capri. Like they were gonna
die.
Government
psyop.
I think like, can we figure this out? Big capri. Like they were like, there was like a denim shortage or something, and they're like, we can't tell the American people about the denim shortage, so they were like pushing capris.
Like the fucking cargo pant material ass capris.
So bad. What did they remember gauchos? Gaucho pants?
What were those ones?
They were like flowy. I can't even. They're so ugly.
All right. Well,
anyway, the early 2000s was a rough time for fashion.
I'll look them up right now, actually.
Please do.
On my computer.
To say that Trump was the perpetrator of this insurrection would be an understatement. Trump was not present for the actual movement on the Capitol, but tweeted later, quote, "Please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They're truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful." And by that point, the crowd had already broken into the Capitol, so too little too late. Also, the police were literally a part of it, so...
Yeah, no, they, like, let him through. Didn't they, like, some of the guards and stuff, like, let him in?
Yes. Yeah. Once again, it's like, oh, I've never seen, Superman and Clark Kent in the same room kind of thing. It's like, wonder why. It's like, I've never seen the KKK and police members in the same room. Wow.
True. Never seen... non-abused wife and a police officer in the same room.
Oof.
And that's the sad reality.
It is
40%, I think, is the number.
Yep.
Anyway,
did you look up gauchos?
I did. They were pretty ugly.
They were
want to be the like what does TikTok call them, the forbidden pants?
Oh,
the
yes.
ones that like make your ass look really good. They like want to be that, but they're like they're capried up.
Yeah, they've been capried.
Yeah. So I can see why. Yeah, those are probably the fucking rage in like.
Oh my
2008.
God! They were ruling my school. He later released a video statement stating again that the election was fraudulent and that he was the true winner, and said, quote, "We have to have peace, so go home. We love you. You're very special." And I just want to really highlight that this is directed at people who broke into the Capitol of our country and attempted to carry out a coup on the government. You're very special.
Yeah.
We love you. Not to mention they injured a ton of people and killed 5 people in the process.
Yeah, it's like if this was like any other context, like this would be like treason. Like they would be killed. Like you can still be like, hung for treason in our country.
Yeah.
Like,
we love you. You're very special. I'll actually never forget, like, seeing that video and seeing him say that. And I was like...
You're like, holy shit.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. At the end of the night, he tweeted, "Remember this day forever."
Jesus.
Yeah. I've barely even scratched the surface of Donald Trump's crimes against humanity.
Truly.
The horrible racist rhetoric he spews, the vitriol towards the LGBTQ community, his violence towards women, and not to mention the multiple rape and assault cases against him. His close affiliation with Jeffrey Epstein, his many crimes against the American people while in office, the literal treason he committed when he stole top secret U.S. documents and stored them in the bathroom at Mar-a-Lago. Don't forget that one.
Oh, how could I?
His shady business practices that have been going on well before his run for presidency, and everything that has gone down since 2021. Old Donnie J is one of those that I may have to revisit in a future Why You Should Hate episode, because his list of atrocities is simply too far, too long for
too
one
grand,
or even possibly 10 episodes to cover.
Yeah, you could really dig in.
It could go on for a long time. But that's just the tip of why you should hate Donald Trump.
Yeah. Man, well done.
Thank you.
Beautiful. I am not talking about Donald Trump.
Thank God, honestly.
Yeah, this will be a nice little historic palate cleanser. And
I mean,
I don't know. Yeah,
am I
we'll
gonna
see
feel
what
happy
you think.
after this
We'll
one?
see what you think. Because President Lizzie B. Jizzlers, longtime Remarks podcast alumni, you might say.
Yeah, I would call him a Remarks alumni.
Yeah. I mean, we've been saying Lizzie B. Jizzlers
since day one.
Since day one. And yeah, so I feel like it's been a long time coming that we talk about him a little bit more.
It has. This was really the two, although I will say I'm savoring and saving George W.
Oh,
yeah. I have to.
You're going to have a field day with George W., dude. Oh, man. Anyway, I'd say Lyndon B. Johnson is complicated as a president in the same way that, and maybe in a less of a way, that JFK is complicated as a president, you know? What do you know about our boy Lizzie?
Oh man. Vietnam.
Yeah.
Really screwed that pooch.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my biggest Lizzie B. Jizz.
Yeah, kind of the Vietnam context.
Well,
we'll get into it. Lizzie B. Jizzlers, Lyndon B. I can call her Lyndon the way she be with my Johnson. He was born on August 27th, 1908, near Stonewall, Texas. It's already minus a point. He was born in Texas.
Yeah.
He was the eldest of 5 children, 1 brother and 3 sisters. The story goes that he didn't have a name for the first 3 months of his life because his parents couldn't agree on what to name him.
And they settled on Lyndon?
Apparently, a friend of his father's, who was a judge or something, was named Lyndon, and his mother only agreed if they to name him that if they spelt it Lyndon.
That's so Utah of her.
Yeah, it's incredibly
Utah. So Utah of her.
That's so fucking Draper of her.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was I want it to be original and
I want
different.
It to be special.
Yeah.
His father was, kind of referencing this being friends with the judges and stuff, was a Democratic Texas legislator, and seems to have been pretty bad with the family's money. So I don't know exactly how much legislators in Texas were making back then, but he grew up pretty poor from how it's all it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
He definitely had to work through high school and college, and in 1926 he attended SWTSTC, which I think is Texas State University. I don't know.
SWT, Southwest Texas
State College? No, I don't know.
Oh.
That's what it said in the article, and it didn't give the full acronym. So
that's my guess.
SWTSTC.
Sure. Love that place.
Yeah, no. Crazy stories at SWTSTC.
Oh my God. It was Girls Gone Wild at SWSTCT.
Exactly. He taught high school for the first few years of his adult life after college until in 1931, Richard M. Kleberg won a special election to represent Texas in the House, and he appointed Johnson as his legislative secretary. This would be Johnson's entry into politics.
Too bad we couldn't kill him before.
And again, we'll see how you feel at the end of this.
Too bad he couldn't stay a high school teacher.
True. And, and that's how there's always 2 paths that someone could have gone down.
2 roads diverged.
It's man, if Hitler had just kept painting, And if LBJ had just kept teaching high school. But again, complicated man here because he did do quite a few good things while in politics.
Mm-hmm.
He was obviously a Democrat. He was appointed head of the National Youth Administration for Texas and seems to, on all accounts, have created jobs and education opportunities for young folks. It was reported, however, though, that he was a pretty tough boss. This would continue through his whole life with stories of, like, people being worked savagely by Johnson. Like, I think one story says that he'd bring in, like, a row of, like, 20 young women who are, like, to be his secretaries and, like, work them to the bone for, like, a couple of days. And then be like, all of you but two, get out of here.
Yikes.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yikes.
You know? He was, sounds like kind of a nightmare to work for sure.
Right.
In a biography written by Robert Caro, it states Johnson's ambition was uncommon in the degree in which it was unencumbered by even the slightest excess weight of ideology, of philosophy, of principles, of beliefs. And I feel like that really gets at, like, the heart of Lyndon B. Johnson is, like, and the question that I pose to I always, like, think of a question when I'm, like, writing these, you know?
do that.
Like a little thesis. The question I posed myself was, like, would Lyndon B. Johnson have been as progressive of a president as he was if he didn't feel like that was his ticket to success? And I think the answer is no, but again, that's, like, the thesis of my portion of the podcast here.
Yeah.
These kinds of quotes about Johnson are not hard to find, and it all kind of builds and paints a picture of a man who may have been on the right side of history, but for the wrong reasons, I suppose.
Sure.
In 1934, he married Claudia Alta Taylor, whose nickname was Ladybird.
Okay.
So they call her Ladybird pretty much always. From all reports...
Great Saoirse Ronan movie.
Yeah. That is a pretty good movie. I haven't seen it in years.
It's been a minute. I think I watched it on a plane.
Yeah, pretty good, if I recall. I think I watched it with James.
It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it.
From all reports, the two were very much in love, even in the times when maybe, like, they shouldn't have been. Like,
right.
She overlooked a lot of shit.
Right. I feel like real love back then is also rare.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's I don't know.
In the political sphere, especially.
Definitely in the political sphere. But, like, I mean, and who's to say? I feel like, again, like, from all reports of them, it says, like, they bickered and hated each other, but, man, they were in love, you know? Like, which, again, is, like, you can maybe make an argument that they weren't in love, but, like, who's to fucking say? I don't know.
Those girls on Instagram, they're like, my husband is so difficult. Like, every day is a struggle. Marriage is hard work.
Piece of shit that I can't.
You're so mean to me sometimes, but I love you, and happy birthday.
Yeah, it's always fucking Mormon gals that are like, marriage is one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Baby, you don't have to be doing this.
You truly don't.
Blink twice.
Blink twice if you're okay. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, in 1937 saw the election of Lyndon to the House of Representatives for Texas. He would serve in the House from 1937 to 1949, only taking a break once to enroll in the military. It is interesting to note here that Johnson's time in the House does not coincide with the progressive politics that we see him later champion in his career. He voted against anti-lynching bills, against civil rights legislation, against anti-poll tax bills, and against fair employment acts. So he voted against all that shit. Mm-hmm. Again, which is he's a Southern Democrat, which is always like was much different than your non-Southern Democrats. During a speech in 2014 given at the LBJ Presidential Library, Barack Obama stated this. His experiences in rural Texas may have stretched his moral imagination, but he was ambitious, very ambitious, a young man in a hurry to plot his own escape from poverty and chart his own political career. And in the Jim Crow South, that meant not challenging convention. During his 20 years in Congress, Obama continued, He opposed every civil rights bill that came up for a vote, once calling the push for federal legislation a farce and a sham. And again, but I think in the speech, Obama goes on to like honor LBJ and this like, speech he's giving. But yeah, I mean, everybody kind of knows it. Like he kind of sucked in the beginning, you know?
Yeah.
And especially coming from a black president, you know, a black man. Like, to circle back, Johnson did become the first member of Congress to serve active duty in World War II, explaining the gap he took in 1941. He and his plane actually survived getting shot down by Japanese fighters, and he received a Silver Star Medal that he wore on his lapel for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I'm sure he did.
Which wasn't that much longer, to be honest. In 1948, he began his campaign for Senate and would barely win by 87 votes out of 988,000. So that was a real close one. Earning him the nickname Landslide Lyndon, which I thought was pretty funny.
Wow.
Landslide Lyndon. He would remain in the Senate for 12 years. Johnson was trying to move up the political ladder and was making a name for himself as a somewhat like kind of crass Southern politician with a lot of ambition.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, and especially, I mean, again, Southern Democrats of the time were very like they were more conservative than obviously your typical Democrat.
And back then as well.
And he was especially like very crass and unfortunately, you know, stereotype still continues to this day, but being from the South, a lot of people will say like, oh, like ignorance, kind of lower education, things like that. Mm-hmm. So definitely those stereotypes kind of plagued him as well. But he was a rather crass man. On July 2nd of 1955, Johnson suffered his first heart attack. The Sarasota Herald Tribune reported that he smoked 60 cigarettes a day.
Oh my God.
That's 3 packs of cigarettes a day.
Oh my God.
Dude, that's so many. How do you even do that?
Oh my God. Where do you find the time?
That's more.
I guess you could smoke indoors.
Yeah, back then, but like, holy shit, dude. 60 a day? I don't even.
Are you breathing air ever?
How many is that per hour?
Let's see.
I was flabbergasted.
Good God.
I can't.
2 cigarettes an hour.
2, really? Oh,
right?
no.
Wait. 60 divided by 24?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2.5 an hour.
Okay, well. I mean, still though. I mean,
still,
that's of the 24 hours a day. So that's
bonkers.
Not considering the time you're
he's
sleeping.
Like, for like what 12? Well, not 12. I guess 8 of that.
He's chuffing them down, dude. Like
chain smoking like crazy. And I'm like, what are you so stressed about?
Fucking call him Halsey the way he'd be chain smoking. Thank you. I'm glad that one landed. Johnson stated the heart attack would make him reconsider smoking.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
Spoiler alert, he never stopped smoking.
Yeah, of course not.
Because it's fucking the 1950s.
He's like, I cut down to 90 cigarettes a day.
It goes up. Oh, God. In 1960, a little Massachusetts state senator who was certainly not murdered by the CIA, named John Fitzgerald Kennedy, would ask Johnson to be his running mate. Though both Democratic senators, Johnson was viewed by Kennedy and his close circle as much more conservative, and this was actually a strategic move to gain Southern votes. Mm-hmm. So they were like, "Damn, JFK, you're too clean, you're too nice, you know, you're too." Politician. We need fucking some backwoods motherfucker.
Exactly. Someone who tells it like it is.
True. And you know who else tells it like it is? This break.
Peeing.
Taking another piss and getting another spin drift, dude.
Absolutely.
Because holy shit, it's election time, baby.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway. Election. Nah. God damn.
Every time. Yeah. So, yeah, and that's why you're wanted now in all 50 states.
Yeah. I feel like I've been trying to hit this goal for a while.
Yeah.
And I'm finally here.
Yeah. I'm pretty positive the last time I made this bid, it was like 46.
Yeah, I think so.
You finally
now
hit
I'm
the
like
50.
a federal outlaw.
Yeah, like you're fleeing the country.
Recognized.
Right after we record this.
Yeah, actually. I'm like, have my bindle over my shoulder, and I'm like 1 foot out the door. My mic is like tipped in the doorway, and I'm like finishing this episode because I gotta go.
Yeah,
I have to get out of here.
Where would you run if you were on the lam?
I mean, my dream would be Italy.
Yeah.
I love Italy. I love Italy.
I don't know. Does Italy? I'm sure any of the UN nations probably extradite, but
yeah. I mean, listen, I'm hoping that I can just like take on like a new identity.
Yeah, an Italian alias.
An Italian alias. Yeah. And yeah, I was trying to think of how you could Italiafy Phoebe, but it's really hard.
Phoebe. I can say that I'm Italian in heritage, okay?
All of our Italian listeners just turned it off.
I can say it. It's fine, everyone, okay?
How dare you?
My mother's maiden name is Morano.
Come on.
It's pretty Italian. Morano.
Yeah, that is very Italian. Yeah. It's very Italian.
So,
yeah, my dream would be Italy.
Yeah.
Maybe on the coast, maybe on the Amalfi Coast.
I could fuck with Cuba, dude.
I would be
Cuba
and I feel like Cuba would be like welcome.
Yeah,
they would be like our arms are wide open. We've heard the podcast. We know it's not. You're finally here. We've been waiting.
We've been expecting you. So true. Yeah.
And Fidel Castro's there because he's actually not dead.
Yeah.
He turns around in like an office chair and he's like, "We've been expecting you."
Yeah, or like I like to think the ghost of Fidel Castro would be like looking down.
Yeah, because he has unfinished business. Have I seen Star Wars? Yes.
Yeah, like the last one, the 6th episode, I should say. The 6th movie.
Probably.
Which was the 3rd that they made.
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
at some point, I've seen all of the Star Wars
people that are like watching over Luke Skywalker.
Yes,
that's Fidel Castro watching over you.
Absolutely.
In the celebration of your homecoming.
My homecoming.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, back to LBJ,
Elizabeth
who's not Fidel Castro.
No.
But, had a little Cuban Missile Crisis with him. Kennedy, being a liberal Bostonian Roman Catholic, needed Johnson's edge to gain votes, and some have argued that he needed his edge. Others believe that the offer was like a courtesy offer that the Kennedy clan thought Johnson would turn down. Historians are a little divided on like what JFK actually thought about Johnson.
Right. Interesting.
They disagree in the case of how JFK treated LBJ. It's a lot of fucking three initial names.
Yeah.
It is well known that RFK, another 3 initial name, Robert, whatever his middle name is, Kennedy
Robert Sr.,
was openly deprecating of LBJ's more crass Southern manner, which I can just like kind of picture in my head.
Yeah,
like the Kennedy brothers being like, get a load of this fucking yeehaw guy.
Right.
You know, like,
they're like on their estate eating like it's like a hard-boiled egg in one of those little hard-boiled egg holders. Yes. And they're like, can you believe what he said the other day?
Exactly. Yeah. No, I like picture it so vividly in my head. Some reports say JFK treated him with respect and dignity. Others say that he went out of his way to humiliate him. One thing that's certain is LBJ wanted more power and influence as vice president than was like traditionally given. And this kind of goes into with like his ambition kind of shit. Kennedy granted him with more opportunities to keep him busy and informed so that he wouldn't like go to the press. I think there's a quote that someone gave later that was like Kennedy being like, I don't want him going to the press and being like, shit's fucked up in there, you know?
Right.
So he like gave him a bunch of stuff to do to like keep him busy.
Yeah.
Which is almost like makes me think he kind of treated LBJ like a fucking toddler. I don't know.
He was like, Lyndon, I have something so important for you to do. What? Can you do that for me? And it's like one of those little puzzles where like the things are connected and you have to like figure out how to get them undone. And he's like
putting the shapes in the...
Yes! This is really important.
This is really important, Lyndon.
You know, Russia? This is going to help us with Russia.
You've heard of Russia,
Remember Russia?
Oh, man. Johnson was also put in charge of the National Aeronautics and Space Council.
Oh.
And it is reported that he recommended that America commit to putting a man on the moon before the Soviets after we lost the race to launch the first crewed space flight in, like, crewed as in, like, manned.
Right.
Crewed. Yeah. Crewed in 1961.
Well, this was his little toy to play with. They were like, you can do the space part of it.
You want to go to space?
You want to try to go
pretty
to the moon?
Cool, huh?
Okay, sure. You're right. We should put someone on the moon.
And goddamn, they did.
Damn it, we did it.
November 22nd, 1963, JFK was assassinated by definitely not the CIA.
No.
And later that same day, Johnson took office. He was the first president to be sworn in by a female federal judge.
Whoa! Girl boss alert.
So true. And I'm pretty sure the only one to this day.
Damn.
Yeah, surprisingly. Judge Sarah T. Hughes. Johnson was reported to be instrumental in appointing Sarah as the first federal female judge in Texas. There's like, I'm trying to remember the story. I didn't write it down fully, but like it was brought to like the Kennedy administration's attention, like, hey, we should make her a judge. Kennedy, with probably the like influence of RFK as well, because I feel like they kind of did a lot of stuff together, was like, oh, she's too old, but she was like the pretty normal age for becoming a judge. They were just like, she's too old because she's a woman.
She's a woman, yeah.
And Johnson actually helped her, like pushed her through. So yeah. So again, complicated guy.
Right.
Johnson seemed to have a desire to bring a lot more diversity and representation into politics, at least in the sense that he wanted to bring his friends who were diverse into politics.
Which is something, I guess.
Yeah, it's, you know, he was friends with women. That's one thing.
That's something you can say.
he respected women
enough to be a comrade to
but
them.
Also he kind of didn't, so we'll get to that later. And many supporters will point to this in favor of his progressive policies and like his progressiveness all around. However, for every story of Johnson working and supporting women, there's a story of him tearing women down who did not align with his political goals. More on that later as well.
Ooh.
Johnson, titillating your senses. Johnson passed a large array of progressive policies as president. The Revenue Act of 1964 and another in 1968. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Although it is good to mention, or pertinent to mention, that Johnson, he passed a couple of Civil Rights Acts, even before the big one, the Civil Rights Act of 1964. And he often referred to the civil rights bills that he would bring to the, how does a bill become a law? The fucking Senate. I need I need the Schoolhouse Rock.
God help us.
Whatever, the Senate or whatever, and just like in casual conversation, he would refer to them as the N-word bills.
Oh boy.
So that's something to bring up.
Yeah.
After his re-election in 1964, he passed the Voting Rights Act of 1965, the Fair Housing Act, started what is known as the War on Poverty, or kind of continued that from a lot of these were continuations from the Kennedy like presidency that began.
Right.
Increased federal funding for education and brought about the Clean Air Act of 1963.
Bring that back.
And that actually, I mean, it was the Clean Air Act of 1963. It got passed after he was reelected in 1964. You know, politics.
Yeah.
Dates
term
and
limits,
shit,
blah, blah, blah.
It is true that many of the early bills and legislations he pushed through were carried over from the Kennedy administration, but after his re-election, it was all him. So he was, at least, again, on paper, pretty...
like, supporting these more liberal policies.
Pretty progressive for the time, you know? But again, I don't know. Now, despite the massive amount of progress that was made while LBJ was in office, his rating would begin to take a hit as some of the promises that he made were falling through for the folks who needed them not to. A quote from the Wikipedia article here. By early 1964, Johnson had begun to use the name Great Society to describe his domestic program. Johnson's Great Society program encompassed the movements of urban renewal, modern transportation, clean environment, anti-poverty, healthcare reform, crime control, and educational reform. To ensure the passage of his programs, Johnson placed an unprecedented emphasis on relations with Congress. Many of the like the expectations folks had weren't becoming a reality with his like Great Society program. Mm-hmm. It's largely viewed as like a failure. Like he didn't actually do anything with it. Mm-hmm. This, along with like the civil rights movement, caused large outbreaks of riots. There was the Harlem riots in 1964, the Newark and Detroit riots in 1967, among other civil unrest, of course, that was happening. Mm-hmm. This led folks to believe Johnson did not have a handle, quote unquote, on the country, right, or his policy, like the policies he was putting through. And this, combined with frustrations over the Vietnam War, compounded to lower his approval rating. The credibility gap between what Johnson was saying about the Vietnam War and what was actually happening over there was quite large. Yeah. And there are points when he was just flat out lying to the public. He was saying we were winning. He was saying we weren't, increasing it. Yeah. And, it's a big, like, controversial part of that was that we were actually never officially in a war with Vietnam.
Exactly.
There was I think it's called the Tet Offensive.
Yes.
Yeah, where he, like, pushed all of our troops there, but did it, like, kind of wormed his way around actually declaring war so that Congress didn't have to approve it. Mm-hmm. And, equally, I mean, it's, maybe not the same, but he did get a lot of young men killed. Yeah. There's a lot of blood on Johnson's hands as well. Sorry,
once again, I know, I was a little cropped out.
I know.
Once again, you can point your finger right at him and say, this is your fault.
You
did this.
You killed arguably a generation of young men.
Yes.
For a war that we really shouldn't have been involved in. So
pointless.
We've done 2 whole episodes on the Vietnam War.
Yes.
So the quick and short of it is, Johnson promised folks that he was not furthering the war in Vietnam, whilst continuing to send more and more troops over there. And he also begun Operation Rolling Thunder in 1965, which was a large bombing campaign in northern Vietnam, which also killed a lot of Northern Vietnamese civilians. Yeah. Which is really cool as well. Yeah. And this, again, kind of goes back to the idea that's like, you can't really be not a monster and president of a country. I mean, again, arguably any country at all, but specifically not the United States. Right. That's for sure. And maybe having leaders is a bad idea.
Maybe it's a bad idea.
Maybe giving someone absolute power over something isn't good.
Crazy to think about.
RFK went on record in 1966 being critical of Johnson, warning that he believed we were crossing a point of no return with the bombing, like the increased bombing runs. Mm-hmm. And he was probably right. I mean, look at where we are now. We carpet bomb everybody. It's fun. Johnson was being harassed at nearly every event or place he visited by protesters.
I love that.
Yeah, like they were fucking...
I love that.
And at one point, restricted his travel and became, quote unquote, a prisoner of the White House for some time due to the constant heckling. Like he would like leave and there was protesters being like, how many people did you kill today?
Right.
Like how many young men did you kill today, Johnson?
God damn. That's so sick.
It's like, bring that back, dude.
Yeah, we need to... I feel like I've said it once and I'll say it again 100 times over. Do not let our politicians rest. Like, literally be on their fucking asses.
Bully them.
Bully the shit out of them.
Bully politicians when they do fuck shit.
They don't need to be living a relaxing... Yeah, when they do bad things. They don't need to be relaxing, like, being able to go to, I don't know, J-Dog and eat a hot dog.
Literally.
Not talking about anybody specifically here. Like, they need to, when they go out into the world where, like, their constituents live, the people who they're, like, responsible for taking care of, and they've done some fuck shit, they should not be able to just, like, enjoy their hot dog. They need to be dealing with the consequences of their actions, and that means, like, you don't get to just, like, have a normal life.
Yeah,
you chose to do this.
You did this.
And you did this, and you're responsible for so much bullshit.
So much suffering. It's like that one story of, I think it was Henry Kissinger was like eating at a restaurant, and there was this reporter who'd like done extensive reporting on him, who like stood up and like made a scene in this restaurant, was like, "You're a fucking war criminal, dude." And I was like, God damn it, that's so sick.
We need to be doing that.
Bring it back. I want to bully politicians.
Call people war criminals to their face.
To their face in a restaurant. Make a scene.
Make a huge scene.
Make a huge scene, and if nothing else, just embarrass them. Like,
yes.
God damn.
When people do war crimes, say to their face that they've done those war crimes.
You're a war criminal.
You're a war criminal.
You deserve to be like killed in a lot of cases.
I mean.
Yeah. Geneva Convention, baby. On January 30th, 1968, the Viet Cong in northern Vietnam launched... this is the Tet Offensive. I forget what the other thing was where he went. But
yes, you're right.
Yeah, my bad. The Tet Offensive, in this case, which was a huge military attack against southern Vietnam.
Horrible.
And though the efforts failed on the part of the northern Vietnamese, the reporting on the attack embarrassed Johnson, exposing how untruthful he had been about the southern Vietnamese standings in the war. So like he was saying like, nah, dude, we fucking got this.
Right.
Did not have it.
Not at all.
Dropped the ball, as they say.
Big time.
Yeah. Fumbled the bag, as the
if
kids
you
are
would.
saying.
Yeah.
And this, of course, increased his credibility gap and made more people hate him. So, and again, it's one of those things that's like Donald Trump is like more of a memeable, like, haha, this dude says some wacky shit and is like, it's like insane. And he's, had his fair share of blood on his hands for
100%.
sure. But like, again, it's so hard with like Johnson because it's like he did do a lot of cool stuff,
right? But
he also did lie to everybody and got a lot of people killed that didn't need to be.
Yeah.
And there's like this other story. I couldn't really find anything about it, but like the Johnson administration knew that Richard Nixon was trying to prolong the war so that Richard Nixon could be the one to end it.
Yes.
They were like literally like interfering with like peace negotiations.
Yep.
And which again is another thing that is treason.
Yes.
You cannot do that.
Yes, because he wanted to
he was the one who wanted to like end the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
And LBJ did not do anything about it. He didn't like call Richard Nixon out for doing that. Which again is like just what fucking liberals do. They believe in the fucking system so much that they won't do shit when there's fuck shit happening, dude. Oh my God, I get mad about it, man. Anyway. After his presidency and the assassination of RFK, it is widely believed that obviously RFK not running due to being dead. I just
on the account of being dead.
and Hubert Humphrey's association with Johnson is what led. So it's kind of the combo of the two things led Nixon to winning the presidency. Again, it's like, would RFK have won? I think he probably would have had a pretty good shot. People fucking loved JFK.
Beloved.
Yeah. But then, Hubert Humphrey, everybody was like, yeah, but you fucking know Johnson and we fucking hate him now. So,
yep.
So we have also kind of him to thank for Richard Nixon's
presidency. I mean, for real, though.
Yeah. Which I'm pretty sure that went swimmingly. No notes on Richard Nixon. So
he was a great guy.
So
He's the only president we don't have to hate.
So sick. What is the thing where he ate like... He ate like cottage cheese and pineapples every day.
Oh, yeah. He had some weird fucking crazy meal that he would eat that it's like,
you're like,
what?
What the fuck are you talking?
What?
And I'm pretty sure it was cottage cheese and pineapples.
So, yeah, I think it was something like that.
Feels wrong.
I don't like that.
It feels
I don't like cottage
dirty.
cheese existing in general.
I also am pretty anti-cottage cheese
like,
myself.
I don't even want to think about it.
No.
It makes me feel ill.
Yeah, I don't enjoy the hustle of cottage cheese.
The hustle.
the cottage cheese hustle.
Yeah.
While LBJ was president, and I mean even before, it seems like he would have been a nightmare to work with. It is reported, and this part, I'm gonna need some cheers.
Richard Nixon would put ketchup on his cottage cheese.
Oh God, Richard! Ew.
What?
What the fuck is wrong with him?
What?
I hate this man.
Oh yeah, his resignation meal was pineapple with a little dollop of cottage cheese on top and a glass of milk.
Oh, that's gotta be. That's the most cursed meal I've ever seen in my entire life.
So bad.
I didn't think I could hate Richard Nixon more.
Right, but that sealed it.
That
for
really
me.
pulled. That really
it's
pushed.
The ketchup.
It's the ketchup, and
why?
He seems like the fucking kind of guy.
It's giving that scene in Get Out where she's eating a Fruit Loop and drinking a glass of milk. Like she like separately is eating the Fruit Loops and drinking the milk, and you're just like, it makes your skin crawl.
Yeah,
you know?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. LBJ. It is reported he named his penis Jumbo. So, Jumbo. And I'm kind of throwing this on you. Name his penis Jumbo and would whip it out whenever he could, like at any, in the bathroom or whatever, and like swing it around and shit, and like be like, you ever seen a dick this big? And like would do, yeah. This is the part where it gets crazy.
What? I've never heard this before in my life.
Yeah, he nicknamed his dick Jumbo.
Oh God.
And I wish I knew if it was true.
Right.
We don't have any recorded pictures of LBJ's dick, unfortunately. But God, I wish that I knew how big of a hog he had.
Or if it was like, it's like not that great, and he's like kind of overcompensating or whatever.
Yeah, like kind of just like he's like, if I call it Jumbo enough, people will think it's huge.
Yeah. Don't nickname your dick. Don't do that. I don't like that. Don't do that. I'm not nicknaming my pussy. Like, I just think unless you do that, I love it.
No,
for
I don't.
you.
Never have.
I find it weird. It is weird.
It is weird to call it.
If you're like over the age of like 15.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
It's true. And it's just party. I don't know.
It's your dick. It's your penis.
It's a schlong.
You can say schlong. You can say hog. Rod if you want.
Yeah, unit is iffy, but
yeah, I love in like smutty books how they have to they're thesaurusing the shit out of like what is anything else I can call this penis.
Gun.
No. Member. I hate that.
I hate member almost as much as I hate package, dude. I hate package.
Package is bad.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Yeah.
Woof.
Anyway, he would also call staff meetings while on the toilet or in bed sometimes with Lady Bird.
Dude, what if...
And it's reported she would like hide under the covers to when like
they would come into his bedroom?
Yeah, apparently like when he was in bed, like he would call a staff meeting, the staff would come into the bedroom, and like again, like Lady Bird would hide. I don't know. I assume that like there were times where she was probably like not clothed or something.
Right.
Like, it's their bedroom.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
He was just like, I gotta see all I can milk this presidency thing for.
I really think he was like that. And I also feel like, again, he just like is very, like it's this lens to like how crass he was. He was like, I gotta take a shit, follow me.
Right.
You know? Like,
exactly.
like
exactly.
He's a wild guy.
He's like kind of an edgelord.
Yeah, definitely an edgelord. And it was reported by Lady Bird as well as like the other women who worked for him that he would like control their appearances.
Oh God, of course.
Which is maybe more common in this time than we would like to believe. Always telling his wife to wear lipstick or get a haircut. Basically seems to have somewhat like molded her into what he thought like the perfect first lady was, Because again, like, I mean, she was also from the South. she was like a little aristocratic, but like, you know, again, I think he was really trying to go for like the Jackie Kennedy.
Right.
But Lady Bird apparently took it in stride and like was a pretty good first lady from all reports. More present than Jackie Kennedy was, for sure. She was too busy eating fucking sheet metal, dude.
She was chomping through the aluminum siding on the White House.
Oh, yeah, dude. That car that JFK was assassinated in, she went home immediately and chomped that shit down. Oh, God. Sorry for that one, everyone. Oh, God.
We're getting canceled now, Taylor.
Yeah. Why? Because she ate sheet metal? That's like the whole meme, you know?
The convertible. She ate the convertible.
Oh, man.
In her grief, she was just like...
JFK wasn't assassinated. His head just did that, you know?
Oh, no.
Man. It was reported later that he only hired women, and I quote, with some meat on their bones.
Oh, God.
And didn't want, and I quote again, no dried up Washington biddies. Is what he said. So, you know, I mean...
wow. Really? He was really hitting the one-liners out of the park.
Is crazy. And, you know, I'm surprised it didn't go the other way where he, like, only hired, like, really skinny, attractive gals. But he hired them with some meat on their bones.
he likes a curvy lady, you know?
Yeah, he likes the curvy girls, you know? And
wow.
That's LBJ.
Wow.
As I'm sure you can imagine, the White House became a breeding ground for sexual advances and harassment.
Yeah.
Him and Lady Bird did seem to love each other, as I said, but Johnson was not in attendance when Lady Bird was delivering their children. Oh. Which is always cool. And I get the feeling that he was certainly not very present in their marriage after a certain point.
Yeah.
Again, no really real way to like corroborate that. There's been some good like biographies written about Lady Bird, but the thing about LBJ that's hard is like a lot of people are very like loyal to him, like people who are like interviewed about his presidency because of like a lot of the social progress that was made.
Right.
Now a lot of people don't want to talk about like how shitty he was in other areas, you know?
And that, you know what? There's the remarks guarantee. No matter how many good policies the president has, we will always talk about what a garbage human being they are.
Always talk about them and how insane they are. A more serious story is civil and women's rights activist Fannie Lou Hamer took to live television to tell her story and testify in front of the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party Commission at a convention. Johnson, who needed Southern voters during his re-election campaign, called an impromptu press conference with the hopes that the broadcast featuring Hammer would be pulled and his aired instead. Because she was basically saying like shit's fucked in the South,
right?
This, like, you know. So and this was just an example of a time where he was like, again, he did a lot of cool things for women, but when it came to anything that was like going against his political campaign, was like, get her the fuck off of the air.
Yeah, he's doing it when it's convenient for him.
Not elevating woman of color's voice, you know, like, things like that. This, of course, was because he didn't want to look like his administration was not in control of the racist situation in the South, and in my opinion, gives larger credence to the belief that Johnson was progressive as a career opportunity.
Right.
Didn't actually care about the well-being or the voices of anybody who was actually oppressed in our country.
Right.
Whatever the case was, Johnson did leave office and returned to his ranch in Texas. January 12th, 1973, he gave a TV interview and was noted as still smoking cigarettes. There's like a quote. I didn't write the quote down, but I remember it. He's like, better I smoke than be nervous about being on TV or something like that.
Oh, my God.
And then 10 days later, January 22nd, he suffered his final heart attack at 3:40 p.m. He was 64 years old. 1 day later, Richard Nixon announced the peace agreement reached in Vietnam.
Wow.
So the next day after Johnson died.
Wow.
He did not live to see the Vietnam War end.
Damn.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's our boy.
Wow.
Again, he's a complicated guy. You
know?
It's, again, I feel like he's complicated in the same way like JFK is complicated.
For real, yeah.
You know, like JFK was literally bred to be a politician. Like,
right.
Probably one of the fakest motherfuckers around.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah.
He do be kind of progressive.
Right.
Though, like.
Yeah, he did good things, but yeah. Yeah, I know. I feel like he literally was like created in a lab, and his family was like raising him like a race dog to be a politician.
Yeah, I feel like because I listened to the Behind the Bastards on RFK Jr.
Yep.
And when he was talking about like kind of the culture of the Kennedys and how their dad would like pit them against each other all the time, and like I think JFK got some kind of award for his like. Service in the military, and then it caused like one of the other Kennedy boys to like fly longer than he needed to, and like literally got shot down and killed. Like shit like that.
I like cannot imagine growing up in that household.
Oh yeah, can't imagine what it would be like to be a Kennedy.
You hate yourself.
Oh yeah. Like, from an early age, they're like, you better do something cool or we will fucking cut you off.
Yeah, and you'll probably die.
By
some weird, fateful thing.
Kennedys do be loving getting shot, dude.
It's strange.
It's
actually
wild.
like really strange and crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying the CIA did it, but,
I'm not
saying
I'm
that
not saying.
Yeah, or what was his sister's name? The one that they lobotomized?
Fuck.
I don't remember her name, but
I can't remember either.
But I mean, yeah, she was like, just an artsy gal.
Yeah.
And they were like, no art. You gotta
politics only.
Politics or like be a lawyer or something.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why you should hate LBJ
and Donald Trump. Damn.
Oh, what a good episode.
Damn, guys.
What a journey. Boys.
What a journey.
Oh, man. Well, this has been grating on my sanity, but mainly the Donald Trump stuff. It brought back...
That one's a little too, like, real and close to home, you know?
I was going to say, it brought back... Like, yeah, because I could, like, read about LBJ all the time and be like, this dude was insane.
That was forever ago.
That was... Yeah, I mean, at this point, 80 years ago, like... Wild guy.
But like Donald Trump is literally running for president again.
We will know tomorrow if he is our president once more.
Today, for all of us listeners.
Yeah, for all the listeners. So let us know how that goes.
Yeah.
We'll be drinking.
100%.
And yeah. That's all.
I feel like I just want to like throw my phone in the ocean.
Oh, always.
I mean, yeah, for like unrelated to election things, yes.
Yeah.
And also just like, I just feel like I want to throw my phone in the ocean and like not even know until like, just like fill me in January, you know? Let me just enjoy my holidays.
Literally.
Fill me in January.
It's a terrible time to do it. Like it
really is.
Yeah, I want to have fun right
like,
now.
and then it's so contentious. Yeah. Your family's gonna be fighting.
Always.
If you have shitty relatives. And if you have to go, like, do, the dinner with the fucking relatives.
Yeah, the holiday stuff.
And then they're, like, your, like, weird uncles, like, well, all right, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody's yelling, can we do this in, like, March or something?
Yeah, you're like, someone's going to say a slur. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's terrible. But, yeah, that's the sad reality.
It's the world we live in.
The reality that we are in currently
that is happening around me.
Fucking start a commune with the boys, dude.
Could we?
Yeah, please.
That'd be great.
And just make bread or something all day.
I love sourdough bread.
I know how to garden pretty well.
You are a pretty good gardener. You're a good gardener.
I can grow things.
Some of your food.
Yeah.
A couple years ago?
Yeah, it was like I guess not this summer, but the last one, because that was when I was able to, because I don't have a garden space right now. But
I really want a garden really bad. I definitely want tomatoes and amongst other things. But
like tomatoes and potatoes are
easy.
Like, oh, dude, you just throw that shit in the ground and it basically grows.
Right.
Like, but yeah, no, we can get a garden going for you.
Okay.
For sure.
My goal, my dream is to get a garden next like whatever, I guess spring is when you want to start it.
Oh yeah, I feel like we rally the troops, we start fucking rototilling that shit. We're good, dude.
And then we can have a farm to table meal.
Exactly, and it'd be delicious.
It would be delicious.
Some fucking amazing homemade homegrown pasta sauce, dude.
Ooh.
Yeah. Let's go. Anyway, probably should do plugs.
Let's plug it.
Get the hell out of here.
Let's get the fuck out of here. Follow our Instagram at Remarks Podcast.
Twitter.com at RemarksPod.
You can follow my Twitter if you want. It's at Phoebes Elise.
My Instagram is tlace_19, I believe. And I have music as well, Taylor Lacey. And check out our Patreon.
Yeah, check out our Patreon if you want to see a little vid.
Yeah, it's a video of us.
Here we are.
Doing the, talking. It'll be the same audio, but you can see us and see some of our gags.
If you're like a watcher.
Yeah, and if you're like, if you're just ever curious about like what we look like.
Yeah.
I mean, you can maybe find that out on our
I need to wash my hair really bad
Instagrams
today,
and stuff. But like, yeah, if you want to see the fits.
I have I'm repping another podcast called Otherworld. I'm repping their merch. Great.
You've told me about that.
Super fun show. I love it.
I'm wearing this hoodie that Eden got from the thrift store, and really at this point we share a lot of clothes. So
I mean, as you should, you know, as you should.
And I think that's beautiful.
That's it.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Rate us on Apple Podcasts too.
Yeah, give us a rating. We haven't asked for that in a while.
No, and I mean it's not too big of a deal, but if you want to, it helps. It bumps us in the algorithm.
If you feel like you want to, do that. Thanks for listening. Okay, love you. Bye.